It's always going to put a smile on your face, isn't it? Little turbo sounds.
So I thought I'd quickly just tell you guys what's happening in this video. My friend Matt and I decided to pay Daniel a visit at Impossible Fab, and he ended up giving us a bit of a workshop tour, showing us what he does. He's got a lot of cool projects there, and he actually specializes in fixing up Hyundai i30Ns. He does intercooler intake systems, and he's currently working on developing a turbo system for it. So it's a very cool little shop, and definitely worth making a video on. So I hope you enjoy it.
So your name is?
Hey, I'm Daniel.
Daniel?
Impossible Fab.
Impossible Fab, yeah?
Yep.
And so exactly what do you do?
We make and manufacture performance parts for Hyundai i30Ns.
Yep.
So we actually just got this back from High School Industries. This is a turbocharger they've built for us. So the standard exhaust wheel on this guy is 11 blades. So one of the biggest issues with this turbocharger, we believe, is that it doesn't have a good range of power. So we're hoping by reducing the blades, we can get a little bit of back pressure out of the turbo and hopefully recover some top end performance. So that's that guy.
Very cool.
Thank you.
And do you have one on the car at the moment? Or
no, that's the first one.
That's going to go on.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
So we don't even know if it's going to work or anything.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
But it's the start of the development.
Yeah, it's the start of the development. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, what we learn off this one, we'll make changes. You know, we can modify the weights of the turbo wheels to try and get more response out of it. Our aim with the turbo is to try and sort of get an bit of all-round performance. Because at the moment the turbo is so explosive and it falls over at like $4,000.
Yes, okay.
So if we can get the same explosive response, but then
carry the
power out to like $5,000 or $6,000, it'll be a lot better car, you know.
Cool.
One of the other things that Alex does is the T51R mod.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So in the front here, he puts an insert in, machines the housing to suit, and that makes it have the what did you call it? The chop, the
rad
chop
sound.
Yeah, the chop of the T51R. So he specializes in modifying all sorts of Garrett's, precisions, everything to have that T51R insert modification. He loves it because everyone loves the sound of T51R.
It makes it incredible.
Yeah.
And then when it's coupled with our intake kit, we're hoping that it'll just sound baller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go have a look at the car. Let's show
have a look.
The car is very cool.
It's a bit messy, but let's have a look.
It's not just the cooler, it's the whole fucking thing. Like Rio bars, all modified, all.
Like I said, it is a bit messy. It's not been cleaned in a while.
The car looks sick, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, so
they're a whole nother beast, eh?
If you look down in here, you can actually see the aftermarket intercooler.
Oh yeah.
You know, it even has all the factory Rio bars being moved forward to accommodate it. There's a larger oil cooler behind that in the factory Rio. So Daniel's worked with Plasmaman to develop the intercooler, but he has ownership and rights of the actual intercooler itself. So no one can go buy that kit unless it's through him.
Yeah.
So he makes the rest of the kit.
This is a standard intercooler.
Okay, that's a standard one.
So like, you can see.
So yeah, she's taller.
Pretty much comes all the way up.
Yeah.
It's obviously thinner, but it's utilising more surface area. Yeah, it's more surface area.
Yeah, more frontal area.
Yeah,
so this cooler, in its sort of factory arrangement, they're just no good. They just heat up way too quick. They don't recover heat fast enough.
Yep.
So the other kind of coolers on the market, they utilise the same sort of design, but they've just added like 50 mil to the top. We didn't think that was good enough, basically, to make 700-800 horsepower, which we plan on doing. So that's why we've teamed up with Plasmaman to make that core. That's the XR6 Falcon core they use, and we've designed and made the tanks
to suit the
i30, and then we do they manufacture that for us, and then we do the full fitting kit.
Cool.
Which is
should be a beast,
complex.
Once that turbo goes on.
Yeah, we're hoping to get
if we can get like 270 kilowatts in the standard kind of trim, would be fun.
Beautiful.
You've actually seen one of these cars before?
No.
Fucking heaps crazy.
Yeah?
For what you get, money for value for money is just something else.
They really walk across the Golf R's, the same hot hatches in this range. The i30 is quite an impressive car, and everyone just thinks Hyundai. Nah, it's not. But when you really know about these cars and where they've sort of come from, the history about the guy was ripped from BMW. So the developer of the car, Hyundai pinched him from BMW and said, choose a car and make it amazing. And he chose the i30 and then made it the N. And this is what you end up with.
Cool.
This is like 3 years of development at the Nürburgring or whatever it was, you know.
So they develop a lot of parts, like just a simple thing here, which is the foot roller. So you can actually sit your foot over that, and it rolls over the throttle a bit nicer.
Oh yeah, nice.
So it puts your footwork in better position to get better cruisability and drivability out of the car.
Cool.
A lot of the stuff will get 3D printed, like the cooler pipes and things for trial fitting. They'll trial fit it all 3D, and then they've 3D mapped the car in the software. They'll print it out on the 3D printer, trial it. If it works, they start mass production of the parts. So Daniel's been sending his airbox kits all over the world. The furthest one went to Russia.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's the furthest one they've sent, which is pretty cool.
So like the most impressive thing about the car is just the integration of the systems. So when so everything's, so you got these like buttons on the steering wheel which basically control the driving modes. So on the left side here you got just regular driving modes which are set from the factory. So sports mode, eco and normal. And on this side, this is the N button. So so it's basically from the factory they've set it up how they want, but you can actually go in and customize it. So in there you can set up your engine tunes, and it actually makes a difference, not just like the old days where it was like power button or whatever. Rev matching, so when you like go down a gear, like downshifts, but there's like many levels of that. It's actually normal's pretty good because it makes you a bit lazy in the traffic, you know. Electronic LSD, so that's sick. And then it's got the exhaust valve, and then the chassis. You can change the stiffness of suspension, steering, firmness, and then the stability control.
It's unreal, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'll let it warm up a bit.
It's always going to put a smile on your face, isn't it? Little turbo sounds.
They spool so hard.
Yeah.
So with that turbo that we're putting on, we're hoping to get more like sound out of the spool.
Yeah, mad.
So it's fucking more obnoxious, you know. 'Cause the car's obnoxious from factory. You know, the backfires and yeah. They've actually spent like 18 months tuning the backfire.
And you got pieces like this. This is the new piece that goes in.
That replaces the intercooler.
Yeah, so the cooler pipes for this cooler go through here. Oil cooler goes here, aftermarket, and it keeps all the factory aero, I guess. What you you know.
Some more like panels that come with it. More block offs that sort of they attach there.
So yeah, you're essentially just designing a bolt-on.
Yeah, it's 100%.
It's 100% bolt-in.
No cutting.
No,
I think the average mechanic could probably install it in about 40 minutes. I think you said, Daniel?
Yeah, about 40 minutes. Yeah.
So from going for your factory intercooler with pipes and everything supplied, the price is ridiculously well priced. For a few $1,000s, you're getting absolutely everything. The spaces on the front to remount, to move the Rio bar forwards, all meet Australian standards. This is all completely bolt-in, no cutting, no wiring, nothing changes. It's all just bolt-in.
Yeah.
So really, really cool kit for a market for a hot hatch that's, you know, awesome. Like
Cool hot hat.
These are the baffles inside the catch can.
Yeah, so
these-
everything is, we get all the we design all the parts here on CAD, and then we get them laser cutted and folded elsewhere. So basically these I just locate in. They're all self-locating, so it makes it easy for us to assemble. And designed in these like little sacrificial tabs. So it means that when we weld and assemble the box, it holds it in the right spot. And we just weld the baffle in, and then that means it's sealed to the lid of the box every time it's sealed off. Then we break them off, and then we fit the other side parts in. So they're all the boxes are keywayed, so that they're self-locating, so it makes it easy for assembly. So basically, so it clips together. So these tabs and slots locate the two sides together, so you don't have to. So you can't ever get it wrong.
Yep. Beautiful. And that's what she looks like here.
Yeah, and that's a finished version. We use contrasting powder coating colors just to make it look a bit more presentable when it comes out of the box.
Yep. And it matches the rest of the car too.
Yeah, that's right. So we kind of match these to the factory brackets are sort of like a satin or gloss black at times, depending where it is in the vehicle.
Yep.
And then we just try and keep all the componentry looking plastic, I guess, for lack of better words.
I'd be happy to put that in my 86, man.
Yeah, probably squeeze one in there somewhere. Demon sourced matching hose clamps to the factory. Same kind of it's got no reinforcement in the hose, so it's really flexible and it looks like factory piping,
Yep.
We just don't want to compromise the vehicle by adding parts that look aftermarket. It's a pretty cool little tool, eh? Yeah. The silicon hose cutting tool. Yeah. It's really hard to source parts all the time from consistent suppliers. Yep. So things like this, I would buy silicon hose from one company and it would be 10 mil longer than another company that is exactly the same size, you know what I mean? They say it's 80 mil and it's 95. Alright, you want to come around and see this side? So it's like a scalpel blade, just a regular model blade. It's mounted to this thing, you screw this and it kind of goes in there and does the first cut, and then there's these are different sized rings. So this one's a 3.5, and that just holds it. We've got a 2.5 to 3 inch reducer there, so that's well, I've only got one kind of loop in there, but it does a pretty good cut.
Can't ask for much more than that.
No, definitely not. It's actually made in Australia too.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, designed in Australia. I think it's manufactured in China, but a guy down in Wollongong actually makes them.
Nice.
Or owns the company.
They're all your little bits.
Yeah, it's it. So it's got all these cool anodized parts. It's actually really well designed. The best thing I like is the casing. It comes with everything's got a nice packaging.
Yeah, so everything got a spot.
Yeah, everything's got a spot. It's all kind of designed to fit inside of each other. Cool.
Yeah.
The body has been essentially removed and then put back onto a KE70 frame. So this will have an 1UZ, so there's a couple of 1UZs up there, that's going to get 1UZ. Remount radiator, the V8 will be in the front, and it's got a, they've done all the, if you actually look at it, the inside of the car, it's actually all KE70. So the tunnel, the floor, it's all KE70.
Yeah.
The firewall's all KE70. Even the diff, so we're getting it's got a, what do you call these bloody K style diff, Bob Warner style diff. K strut tops, strut towers. So this side here is all braced, that side there is all pieced in. Do it
for like 7 years. So it's a bit of a like community build, you know. We get the guys
Come out, give you a hand.
they just guys that hang around the shop, come here on Friday, and they get them to make bits and pieces. Some bits are like better than others, but it's just more about like having fun, you know.
Yeah.
Teach people how to learn how to fabric.
So one use there, eh?
Yeah. Which will be engine mounted in front.
In the front.
Yeah. So nothing like the original bug.
Nothing like it, yeah.
No, but it fits.
Hey, you can't take that block of timber. Can't have it.
Then this has got a Honda S2000 engine.
Oh, I didn't see that, eh?
With a jet.
Yeah, boat.
Yeah, so they put a jet ski jet in the back of it. Long-term project.
That is sick.
Yeah. So it's gone from a, you know, all the frame, the body's been braced up, so it just looks like a stupid tinny, but it's got a fucking jet mounted on the back. The Honda S2000 engine in it. Turbo.
Yeah, like bloody hell.
Projects.
Well, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It was very last minute. Absolutely no planning went into this one. So with all things considered, I think it turned out pretty well. If you liked the video, please tell me what you think in the comment section down below and leave me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see some more of my content, hit that notification bell and subscribe. I also post all my stuff on Instagram long before I post onto YouTube, so go follow my Instagram page at 199 Nico199, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.